Hi, my name is Stephanie, and today I'll present my exhibit, Here's Out Immigration Told in Stories. So my exhibit is, I'll start by going through the mission of my exhibit, what the exhibit entails, why I chose Dallas as a place for my exhibit, and what my design inspirations were, what takeaways I had from those designs that inspired me, and what challenges and opportunities I saw once I had finished my presentation about the exhibit. So the mission of my exhibit is to be able to tell stories of immigrants that show the struggles and their successes in the efforts to show that oftentimes we only hear a single story of immigration. So if we search for immigrants in social media or in any searching platform, you will probably see the same kind of pictures and which only tell one story, and that is of immigrants moving illegally and being a burden to society. And so with my exhibit, I want to show the other side of the story that we don't hear oftentimes. And I want to be able to debunk a lot of myths that exist about immigrants in ways that are not through statistics, but rather through stories, in the efforts of humanizing the topic in that way. The exhibit will be held in Clyde Warren Park in Dallas, Texas. And what I am envisioning is white columns around the park so that it feels like sort of like a maze that people will walk around and as they walk around, read the stories and see a picture of the immigrant, what their occupation is, what their former occupation was in their old or their previous country, and just how their life looks like here in the US. This is an example picture of how Clyde Warren Park looks without any installations, just so you have an idea of how beautiful the park is and why I think that would be an attraction. It is also very big, which allows for a lot of columns to be placed and just making it very walkable without becoming overwhelming. It is also between uptown and downtown, which I think is the perfect spot because it will make a lot of different people from different incomes and age groups come and watch these exhibits. So why did I pick Dallas? So other than me living in Dallas at the moment, I picked Dallas because Dallas has a very big immigrant population. So 18% of the total population in Dallas are immigrants. 2 in 5 children have an immigrant parent, and 71% of the immigrants in Dallas are part of the labor force. I think this statistic is important because it shows that immigrants do contribute a lot to the labor force and to Dallas as a city. And this last statistic, through $33.2 billion, is the spending power of immigrant-led households. I think this also helps support that. So this is the reason why I chose Dallas. I think it is a topic that is very relevant to the city. And I wanted to be able to share this with other Dallasites and people visiting. So when I started creating this exhibit and thinking about it, I wanted to pick colors that would be very that people would gravitate to and that would catch your attention. So that's why I made red one of my colors, because I think that will just catch people's attention easily. And then I added blue and a lighter sand color that I think complement the red very well, and also are lighter tones that could be used for less important information. Then in my mood board, I included a lot of imagery because I wanted photos and imagery to be a big part of the exhibit, and I want all these to be in black and white. The reason for this is just it helps create a unity between all of the pictures, no matter how different they are. It also creates a very big contrast between the colors with the colors that I have. So I think that will create a stronger impact. I chose a font that is modern, simple, just that it wouldn't take away from the imagery included and also from the information that will be included. after I had my mood board, I started thinking about how my designs for my promotional pieces would look like, and I created several designs. Some of them mostly like incorporating texture from like a passport, and all of these had this element in like similar in like in it. And then my third design I thought was the strongest, and that was the one that I decided to include as my final promotional piece. So this is my final promotional piece. The reason I thought it was the strongest is because it has this image of a man which just is looking straight at you, and I think it like just makes the viewer like, it's hard to like look away from the man in the picture just because he's staring right at you. And the fact that it says "hear us out" right above it, I think it makes it seem like he is telling you that message. So I think that helps emphasize the message and just like humanize it, which is exactly what I was looking for in my exhibit. I tried to keep it very simple in terms of the content, just like the location and the when. Since it's an open space in a public park, it did not require any like big call to action or like any ticket purchasing. So I just left it open and like as an invitation for people to come here. I really liked including the texture because I feel it helps connect the person to like traveling and migration, because it's a texture that is familiar and makes you think of like passport. If you connect all the dots between immigration, the texture, and the picture, I think it really takes your mind there. So I wanted to incorporate that as part of my promotional piece. My event page inspiration. So I looked into several events that were happening in the area and just events that I knew had happened at some point and that were very effective. So one of them was Cirque du Soleil. I think they do a great job, and just like their imagery is very eye-catching, and it has like very little content but a lot of imagery, and it's just very clear what they want the user to do, which is purchase a ticket in this scenario, in this case. So I took some inspiration from there. I also took inspiration from the Van Gogh experience. This is an exhibit that sold out here in Dallas. It did really well. And what I liked about their homepage was like they had this video that was like front and center, and they also had like what people are saying and just like divisions here at the bottom where like we have the gift shop, the venue, about immersive Van Gogh, and just like the way they had divided that content in a very simple way, I thought was very interesting, and I wanted to make sure to incorporate that. Lastly, I took inspiration from the Dallas Art Fair. They also did a great job in including just one video front and center, keeping it super simple. It just makes it very clear where you can find everything and what their message is, which is an art exhibit that they want people to be able to browse and enjoy, which is exactly what the people in the video are doing. So I thought they did that really well. So my takeaways were the navigation. It was easy to navigate, and the call to action was clear in all of them. The simplicity, they were all straightforward, which I think help ease the navigation and diminish any confusion. And in all of them, it was easy to find out what you had to do as a viewer and what they wanted you to take away from the homepage. And it was impactful in all of them. It created like an emotion in the viewer. It engaged the visitor. And I wanted that to be a part of my homepage. So the event page, since after looking at that inspiration, one of my takeaways was I wanted something to be front and center to engage the visitor of the homepage or the event page. And I thought a good way to do this was by including a collage of the pictures of immigrants, because as I did in the promotional piece, I thought this really helped humanize the topic, first of all, and it also helped engage the viewer. And in a way, like, just, it's like these people are like calling the viewer and like to pay attention to them. So I think that was very effective in the promotional piece, and I wanted to recreate that in the event page. So this is my wireframe for the event page, and this is what it looked like in the end. I was very happy with how it turned out with all the images at the top. I faded these out so the contrast would work out well, and it wouldn't be like hard to read the "Here's Out Immigration Told in Stories." but I think it was still like you can still see the pictures, which is the purpose of this gallery in the back. So I think I liked how that turned out, that you can see both the title and also the gallery in the back. Then I decided to include just like little snippets about the stories that would be present in the exhibit. So for example, here in my mock-up, I have a snippet of Carmen Diaz's story. And the purpose of this would be that people would scroll through several stories just to get an idea of what they would be reading about and hopefully engage the viewer. Like once they read these, hopefully they would want to read more and want to go to exhibit because of this. Then similar to the Van Gogh page where they broke out the information in different sections, I wanted to do that with my information. In this case, my information is very simple. It's my location, the dates, and the hours. So I try to communicate that in sections in a very clear and easy to read way. And then I have my call to action below, which in this case, my call to action is a little, it's just add to calendar, it's not purchase tickets, but I still wanted to include that, so include it somewhere so that people who visit the site have something to do and not just go away without like taking a step towards going to the exhibit. And then below in my footer, I just wanted to have my navigation again, just so that if they're at the bottom of the page, they can easily navigate to anywhere else on the website. So the challenges that I faced. I think one of the challenges that I faced when looking for pictures, since that was a big part of what the exhibit was about and what I wanted to be a part of all of my pieces, my promotional piece, my homepage, was that it is very easy to get into the, like, pick up a picture that fits the stereotypes, because of course, if I look for immigrant pictures, as I mentioned initially in the presentation, it will show you one story and it will show you what the typical immigrant is thought to be. So that was a challenge, and I really wanted to diversify the images that I chose, and I tried my best to do that, but I think there's an opportunity there to like just diversify the images as much as possible so that we're not like building on a stereotype. Another challenge was the impact. I wanted to showcase stories that we don't hear and that show the value that immigrants bring to American society without seeming confrontational. So I wanted to be able to show the value of immigration in American society, but I didn't want it to seem like I was not looking at the whole picture, or that I'm like saying this is the only way to view things, but rather just show another perspective to people and be open to their ideas, but have them open up to my idea that was trying to be communicated in the exhibit. So trying to educate without creating confrontation, I think, was one of the challenges with this topic. The opportunities that I found was just making my call to action a bit more engaging. Even though I did have a call to action, which was like add to calendar, I think when the call to action is something like purchase a ticket, it creates a commitment from the visitor because they're purchasing something. So it creates like a sort of responsibility to attend an event. Whereas if you add something to your calendar, you feel less committed to go to it, because it's just like you can easily delete it from your calendar, or something else can pop up and just require more importance. So I think having stronger call to action would have helped my exhibit. And I think also incorporating a video in the homepage could have been a good way to approach it and also like create a stronger impact to the viewer. Because I think if I would have had a video of all of the people that were exhibited talking about their stories and just like having little clips of what their stories were about, I think that would have created like an even stronger impact in the visitor.